So first step is to jack up your car and place it on jack stands or use ramps like I did. Then locate your transmission right here and follow that toward the back of the car until you find your bushings, which are right here. Follow that back further and you'll find two screws that hold on a heat shield. You're going to want to go ahead and remove those two screws to give yourself some clearance. So I was actually in the middle of doing some other work on the car and I had my downpipe off, which probably helped me a lot. It's probably still possible to do it with the downpipe on there, but it makes it a lot easier if you have it off. One thing to note is that you actually don't have to drop your transmission like it says in the instructions. So what I'm doing here is taking a ratcheting wrench and removing this bolt that holds the plate on, that holds the bushings on. Once you get that plate off, you can slide the bushing right off of the rod that's it's held onto. And I'll show you that in a second here. So it just comes right off like that. And what you see there is the stock bushing, which is a rubber one-piece bushing that holds that rod onto the transmission. Your job is to remove that and replace it with the new ones. So I skipped ahead here a little bit, but basically I just used a flathead screwdriver and forced this out through one of the sides. I damaged it a little bit in the process, but it's garbage anyway. These are the new Perrin bushings that I'm using. And basically all you're going to need to do here is take them out of the package and make sure you grease the hell out of them. Also grease the transmission, the part that it's going into. You can take the transmission bushing and place it onto the transmission. I struggled with this for a little bit actually, but I found that the easiest way to do it is to take half of the bushing, place it onto that rod, and then place the shifter rod onto the bushing while it's there. After you do that, you take the second half of the bushing, place that onto where the old bushing was, and use the bolt that came off of it to tighten that down. And you'll see how I do that here in a second. This was the only way I was able to actually get it into the rod, otherwise it would be impossible to force in with your fingers, just with your fingers alone. So here's where I figured it out, and I've got the second half of the bushing on there, and the nut that I took off from the area, and I'm tightening that down with my wrench to force that second half of the bushing into the connection. Once that's far enough in that it's not going to come back out when I take that nut off, I'm going to go ahead and take the nut off, and then replace the plate that came off of there as well. So once you've got your plate back on there and it's tightened up nicely, that's all you really need to do. Button back up your heat shield and your car's back together. Take it for a drive and see if it worked. I found that these shifter bushings from Perrin made my throws a little bit sharper. It wasn't any easier to find the gears, but the shifter didn't really wiggle when it was in the gears, and it overall felt a lot more solid to me. So for $30, try them out, see what you think.